Yeah. I mean, you can move it between you guys when you go on to talk.
Yes.
Ha ha ha.
Yes.
Yes. It's your favorite time of the week. It's Obscure Ballers for another episode here in the OACR with two more brilliant freshmen. We've kind of been doing some themes the last few weeks, but this week we just kind of fly 'em blind with some just great chatter, and I'm looking forward to another great episode. And looking forward to it. Let's get right into it. With our traditional Obscure Ballers of the week. To start us off. We're running a little bit cut for time here this week, so we'll go a little bit snappy. It's your chance to highlight a relatively unknown sports person. Could be anyone in the world of sports who made the highlights for you that week. I'll start us off with someone who wouldn't be an obscure baller last year. Boussaint Hazan on the Northwestern volleyball team has only really had like 6 appearances so far. Was the team's kill leader last year, of course, but came in for Rylan Reed, who's been the team's kill leader this year, and went off against Michigan in a 5-set throw. I know, Bryan, you were there to cover it for the daily, but I mean, crazy. 17 kills, including the game winner. Massive shout out to Boussaint Hazan for, carving a place in the lineup. It's crazy that she has to prove herself like time and time again, but I mean, that was an unreal performance.
Yeah. And by the way,
Yeah. Oh, guys,
go
introduce
ahead.
yourself.
Go ahead.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
I'll give you the chance to introduce yourself as you make your pick here. Yeah.
So I'm Jack Spector from DC, and it's been excited to be on. Thank
Yeah.
you guys for having me.
Yeah. Do you want to give us your kind of pick for the week?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my pick. If I mentioned Chad Fairchild, I doubt really you guys or
Nope.
anybody
Nope.
right would know who he is because he's actually not an athlete. Um I didn't know who he was either until I looked up who the left field umpire was for the Brewers and Dodgers NLCS Game 1 this past week.
Mm-hmm.
For any of you watching or pay attention to baseball, the Brewers had one of the craziest plays, honestly, in baseball history. It was one of the most confusing things I've ever seen go on a ball field. But um, when Sal Frelick, the Brewers center fielder, went up and nobody knew what happened, the left field umpire Chad Fairchild was able to tell exactly how it just glanced off the wall, that the play was still happening, and then credit to John Lipka, the home plate umpire, for seeing this call and making the correct call at home plate. And while it's not, maybe some people think, oh, that's just they do their jobs, that's how it is.
Umpires get a bad rap.
They
Yeah,
get
they
a
do.
bad rep.
They get a horrible.
They get
rap in the
slammed
MLB.
for everything
Yeah.
they do, and they never get credit for anything good they do. I mean, robo umps are coming to the MLB
Mhm.
next year. I understand. I understand why, but I think that just deserves a tip of the cap when
Mhm.
everybody else was. Sal Frelick himself said, just like, "What the f is going on?" Like you didn't need John Boy to read his lips there. He
Yeah.
was confused himself, but for the umpires to pick that up was quite impressive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I guess I'll also go. My name's Bryan Boanoh. I'm from Jersey. Also, what?
In the mic. Yeah.
Oh
Just
yeah,
make sure. Yeah. Get the audio. Good.
All right, okay.
Yeah. Dulcet tones.
Yeah, and I guess I'm Bryan. Happy to be here. I'm also first year. And I guess for my obscure baller of the week, I'm going Brendan Flakes, D lineman for Northwestern football team. Obviously got a big win yesterday over Purdue. After the game, he was really hyping up the crowd. I saw him. He was, getting everyone really rowdy. I believe he caught an interception. Which is something you don't see D linemen do. Caught an interception. Tried to return it. Couldn't get it into the end zone, unfortunately. But great to see. And so yeah, that's my shout out.
all right. And
Phenomenal.
by the way, I'm Tomas and he's Sid. If you didn't know that. But my obscure baller of the week is I'd like to talk a bit about the U20 World Cup happening right now. Morocco over Argentina. It's halftime in the final. Morocco winning 2-0 at the moment. Yassir Zabiri with both scores. By the way, Morocco knocked out France in the semifinal by penalties. Argentina knocked out Colombia in the semis. Colombia beat France yesterday for the third place. So Morocco on the precipice of a U20 World Championship. World Cup win, which would be huge for a team that made the semifinals in the last World Cup, and that program has really just been exponentially growing in recent years. And then this past weekend, not this weekend, but the week before was a FIFA window, World Cup qualifying window. So just quick shout outs. Cape Verde or Cabo Verde, they qualified to the World Cup for the first time in the nation's history. They're a small bunch of islands off the west coast of Africa. The population is only about 500,000 people, so it's insane that they made it over Cameroon, by the way. Cabo Verde to the World Cup. Suriname is currently in first place in their CONCACAF World Cup qualifying group.
I mean, they're missing 3 big.
Yes,
fish
there are
in
some,
their pond.
but they tied Panama on the road, and they were about to win. Panama actually scored a last-second goal. So as of now, there's a few games left to play, but as of now, Suriname would be in the World Cup, and Kosovo defeated Sweden 1-0.
Oh.
Sweden is basically out of it. They're like in
Yeah.
last place in their
Well,
group.
Sweden hasn't been that good.
And
I mean, they're still
Sweden.
They're
They
still
made the
Sweden.
quarterfinals
Yeah.
in 2018, and they have players like Alexander Isak,
Oh,
so huge upset.
Mhm.
And Kosovo is now in second place in their UEFA European World Cup qualifying group. As of now, they would be qualifying to the European playoff. So some huge underdogs there. Coming up with some big results as World Cup qualifying really heats up. South America's done, Oceania's done, but Africa, North America, Asia, still with some big games left to play.
Huge shout out to the North Korean under-17 women's national team who just beat Mexico 2-0 in the U17 Women's World Cup. They're the winners of 3 of the last 8 Women's World Cups at the U17 level. Somehow can't make that translate anywhere else, but they're dominating the under-17
North
women's
Korea
World Cup.
U17 Women's World Cup, absolute dynasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's also happening right now. The U17 Women's World Cup in Morocco.
Group stage.
But yeah, those are our obscure ballers of the week. We will now move on to our deep dive. Our deep dive, it's basically an opportunity for our guests to come on the show and really talk about something something that's been weighing them down or something they've been thinking about a lot lately. It could be, something from your childhood, something that
maybe you've had a long day and you just pull up the highlights of this, just reminisce.
Something along those lines. So we're gonna go ahead. We'll get started. With Bryan. Bryan, you have a certain player to highlight that used to be on a certain team in Portland. Could you tell us a little bit about him?
Okay, so my obscure baller for this week for the deep dive is named CJ Ellaby. Played exactly 2 seasons for the Portland Trailblazers, 2021 and the 2022 seasons. And I want to talk about one specific game he had in that 2021 season to paint the picture, right? The Blazers are going into Philadelphia. I don't know if they were the 1 seed at the time, but the Sixers would finish this season as the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And the Blazers are without Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. They're two starting guards, both 20+ point game scorers. And so the starting lineup is a bit weaker. And so going to Philly, not really favored to win the game. And then out of nowhere, off the bench, comes this random guy named CJ Ellaby. Drops 15 points. At that point, a career high. Hadn't even gotten over 10 in a game before. And I was watching the highlights back. He was just absolutely crashing the offensive boards. Cannot be stopped. Getting in there. Made 1 3-pointer. Had a few more attempts than that. Didn't really shoot that one from 3, but that's beside the point. Had a steal on Joel Embiid that turned into a fast break dunk. Just absolutely crazy. The YouTube comments of the video are, "Oh, this guy needs way more minutes. Get him in the starting lineup, Terry Stotts." And so I just remember that game because my friend is a Sixers fan. He was talking trash the whole time. And after we beat him, I was like, "You literally lost to a guy I've never heard of before, ever."
A guy that you, a Trailblazers fan, had never
heard of. So yeah, I mean that's.
So what happened to him? After this game, like huge contract, like he got signed to a superstar deal. Like what happened here?
Not exactly. He did drop 10 points a couple more games next season. He averaged like 6 points a game, I believe, in the 2022 season. But that would be his last season for the Portland Trailblazers. Unfortunately, only played 2 seasons. As to where he is now, I actually have not checked up.
CJ Ellaby is now a player for MKE Ankaragücü of the Turkey
Ankaragücü
of the Turkey basketball league. So he is currently balling out in Turkey. He also played for the Mexico City Capitanes, the Greensboro Swarm, which is a G League team in North Carolina. He's also played in Israel and Salt Lake City and Iowa. So he's kind of been bouncing around. But yeah, he's currently in Turkey. You know,
Add him to the
Yeah.
list of obscure ballers'
That's-
favorite basketball players abroad.
that's that's what we talk. That's what we love to talk about here on Obscure Ballers.
Yeah.
But we'll now talk to Jack a little bit about we're gonna swing for the fences here and
Oh,
talk
yeah.
a little bit about some Washington Nationals baseball. What do you got for us, Jack?
Yeah, so well, Sid, just talking about, at the end of the day, at the end of a long day, all you want to do really is like pull up the highlights of your favorite guy. Like I still know the video Kings of Summer by AOK, Ian Desmond, 2016 highlights. Now, this guy I always felt I'm a big Nats fan, and he kind of left maybe on a little bit of a sore note after he gave years to the club. Silver Sluggers, an all-star. One year he finished with some MVP votes. He was a big part of the team for many years. But after a strong 2014 season, he got a contract offer and turned it down because he thought he could get more money. Had a horrible 2015 and ended up on the Texas Rangers in 2016. Um, Now this is when he balled out. This might have been the best season of his career. Another All Star. His WAR at one point I believe was only third to Mike Trout and Corey Seager. Um, I mean, he kind of had a little bit. He didn't get the send off from his MLB career I think he deserved because he opted out during COVID and then from there just called it quits. Um, but this guy is someone I watched all the time. He had a handful of 2020 seasons, which in the grand scheme of things isn't anything special. It's no Shohei 50-50 or Acuna 57 40-70. I don't know if he got to 50 bombs. But for just a good lovable role player that a guy can get attached to, it's just good production out of a guy that I think always went a little underappreciated.
I mean, it's those like hometown heroes that really like. I feel like it's easy to get into baseball when your favorite player is Shohei Ohtani.
Yes.
Those guys like hit the lights out. But in those years in between, it's those in between years, right, where you really get attached to the most random people.
Right.
Right? Like I think of like I'm a Columbus Crew MLS fan. And we've had MLS Cup in 2023. We won 2020, made to the final in 2015. But some of my favorite players came from those years where you finish in the middle of the league, completely forgettable. But it's like you look at 2017 Harrison Awful zigzagging through guys on Halloween for like a playoff goal. Nothing happened that season.
No.
It was the most mid-season ever.
Right.
Nothing, but
that's
those
where you find the
memories
real
last.
fans.
That's where the true fans come in. And I mean, like tell me about where this national squad lands for you. How long have you been? I mean, 2010 Washington Nationals. How old would you have been? Though?
Right. No,
I mean,
that's quite the fair question. So actually, admittedly, something there that I don't like to just give out.
Yeah.
Is that I was born a Red Sox fan. My mom's family's
Oh,
from
wow.
Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom's family's from Boston. First Halloween, you can see little Jack on the porch in his Red Sox uniform.
Oh man.
But after going to a few Nats games, I quickly transferred over to the new hot DC team. Um, for the 2010s, when we had Bryce Harper, Jason Worth, we had a few big names. Year after year, we were projected to go far, and year after year, we just failed over and over. I mean, it was
Minnesota Lynx.
right. It was heartbreaking, as you said. Like even though we had some like pretty high projections, like just doing nothing really, it took a toll on me, and that's why that 2019 Nationals ring taking down the Astros, who, I mean, I could go on about how much I hate the Astros for hours. But that I'll hold on to that tight because we're not doing.
How did
anything
it feel to be on the other end of that scandal?
I mean, so it
Well,
didn't.
wait, it was 2017, though, right?
So
2017.
It was the
Oh,
2017
man.
team.
Yeah. My bad.
And it didn't actually come out until just after the 2019 World
Wasn't
Series.
yeah, right.
But I will say, it was a great series, and I love seeing on social media. Obviously, the Astros hate just grew from that exponentially, and so guys like Steven Strasburg, whose career pretty much ended after that
Mhm.
because of injuries, and Rendon, who similar thing. I think he gets way too much hate. He performed amazing that postseason, but seeing guys say like, "Oh, they sacrificed their careers to beat the Astros, to take down the Astros," like anything to keep people remembering that 2019 Nats team, I'll take it, man, because we need that recognition. Not gonna get much more of that for a little while.
Yeah.
And I just like to shout out Ian Desmond at one point played for the Vermont Lake Monsters. I just like the name.
Really?
Vermont Lake Monsters, located in Burlington, Vermont.
Is that a minor league team?
Yeah, minor league.
I will say I love minor league baseball
Yeah.
team names.
Yeah.
You got the Trash Pandas,
The Portland
got the
Pickles.
Pickles,
Portland
Flying
Pickles. Love
Squirrels,
those guys.
the Iron Pigs,
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
and endless.
Yeah, they were in the New York Penn League. They're now a collegiate summer baseball team.
All right.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Wait.
Anyways,
Okay. We're pulling up.
we're
old
just gonna pull
photos
up. This
of
is
the-
a picture of Champ,
Oh,
the
wait.
lake monster.
Oh wow.
If you guys want to see him, he's
Yeah.
he's quite a handsome looking fellow.
There's
anyways.
an episode for best obscure
Yeah.
mascots.
Ooh.
Anyways, all right, yeah, that's
we'll go now into our game of the
Yeah.
week. Speaking of fun segments that we might have on the docket. This is one we've had in our arsenal for quite some time, and we've been excited to throw it out for this week. Best sports quotes. The quote graphic in the world of sports is having, I think it's kind of moment these last couple years.
Yeah.
It kind of started with, I'm trying to think where it all started. Maybe like, I will be there no matter what.
I will be there no matter what's a big
Yeah.
one. That's a big
That
one.
one was kind of the genesis, and
And it's
from there,
everywhere. Yeah.
it's been. And some people, I don't really appreciate the misleading sports quotes.
Oh, it drives me
You
up the
know,
wall.
like the fake, like sometimes it's like, I don't know, the Hennessy ad with LeBron, where it's
Yeah.
like
Oh my
LeBron
God.
James is retiring, and then I
Yeah,
think it was
there's a
FanDuel
yeah,
who put
like,
in tiny
not,
print
like,
not.
yeah, like what?
Like, it defrauds the art.
The second decision.
The second is like
God.
like
That was an ad from the
Yeah,
beginning.
it had
so-
to.
was
Yeah,
exactly.
there was no
it
way.
had
There
to
was
be,
no way.
right? It had to
There
be.
was no way.
But, like-
So this week we're going into your favorite genuine sports quotes. And there's so many that make great quote graphics. We're gonna go into some of them today, but I'm also excited to see the quotes that have not made the quote graphics and just have a sincere and
Yeah.
deep and dear place in your heart.
And this could be from a coach, from a player, from a broadcaster, any quote related to sports at all. So yeah, we'll throw it back over to Jack. What quote do you have in store for us?
Yeah, so my quote comes from Torian Prince in his
Oh,
college days.
oh,
at,
yeah.
I think
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what this is.
That's a good one.
In his college days at Oregon,
Yeah.
he and his guys had just lost to Yale in a rough loss, and a reporter asks him, how does Baylor get out rebounded by Yale? And he says, well, you go up and grab the ball off the rim when it comes off, and then you grab it with two hands and you come down with it. And that's considered a rebound. So they got more of those than we did. And I just thank you, Torian Prince. Thank you. Like,
Amazing.
I'm just now hearing this for the first time.
in this day and age of just who can get the most
didn't know
clicks and all these fake graphics with BS quotes. Like, I just say what you want, mean what you say. I'm sick of all these reporters, maybe after a big game saying, Steph Curry, you just hit the game-winning shot. What does it mean to you? Or how does it feel?
Oh, good.
It feels good, dude.
We won. Scored more points than the other team.
Try to think of a better question.
Yeah.
That's.
I love college basketball quotes in particular, just
Yeah.
because the one that has a special place in my heart is the one where it's like, what will you miss about being on the team?
Yeah.
I forget his name, and he's just like,
Boston College guy.
Yeah.
just going out to eat.
Yeah.
I feel that too as a guy who's done kind of
Yeah.
like that showcase circuit. I mean, I did it in baseball,
Yeah,
not basketball, but at hotels,
Yep.
hanging out with your boys, going out to eat at team meals. Like that's like making those bonds. That's the highlight.
Mhm.
That's where it is. That's the stuff I miss the
Yeah.
most.
But like I feel like college sports has the full spectrum of like genuine gem, meaningful sports
Yeah.
quotes and dumb stuff.
Yeah.
like exactly what you
yeah,
did.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah.
And you gotta love it all.
Yeah,
You
It's
gotta love it.
college.
the full
It's
breadth.
that perfect kind of mix of like it's very serious. I mean, it's high
Yeah,
profile,
people,
high stakes.
people care about it a
right?
lot. At
But
the
it's
same
also
time,
college
there's
kids.
college
Yeah,
kids.
Like it's people our
These are
age.
kids.
Either
Right,
right.
like-
Like it's not not professional. At
no
least.
one is media trained.
But all right. Anyways, wonderful, wonderful
Yeah,
quote, Jack.
we'll throw it over, I think, to
Yeah.
Bryan next.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
take it away.
So I guess I'm a avid collector of like those like
Yeah,
sports
yeah.
graphics ones. So I have like a couple favorites,
Yeah.
but I guess I like I'm a big fan of like commentary. I guess everyone is, but like I really love like Kevin Harlan. I think
Yeah.
that
Oh,
he is
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
big
he's
great. I just
He's
think
good.
he's the best. He got it, like all that stuff. So I think, but my favorite like individual like line from him is like, I this game happened like the 2000s. I
Mhm.
wasn't there. I didn't watch it obviously, but like there's just like one like play where it's like Kobe Bryant, I think, and he's like going on like the baseline against like the Timberwolves. He had like a baseline dunk, and then Kevin Harlan is like, Kobe Bryant just sucked the gravity right out of the building, and it's just like, man, it's like the coolest way I've ever
Oh,
Yeah.
like
God.
heard
Who comes up with
anyone.
that?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
On the
like,
spot, like
Right.
off the dome is
Yeah.
crazy.
That's got it.
Yeah.
and like there's another one that it was like LeBron's rookie season where he gets like a steal in transition. And it's like a fast break, no one's in between him and the basket. Everyone knows he like do a crazy dunk, and he's like, go like, buckle up for LeBron James. Like that's so like poetic. That's
Yeah,
a
it is.
metaphor. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. So those are my
poet,
favorite
a
like
poet.
commentary
Mhm.
parts. I
Yeah.
guess for some of my quote graphic, like my favorite picks, I think the lights were brighter than expected from Jared Allen.
Gets a lot of
Obviously,
use.
Yeah.
That's a
that
lot,
gets a lot of
a lot of mileage out of that.
It's one
Look
of
at the group chat.
another group chat favorite is I apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game
It's another
from
big one.
Shaq.
Yeah.
That's an all-time classic.
Yeah.
And I think maybe one that gets like the funniest use is Mark Jackson's "What Happened to the Game I Love."
Yeah.
Because
I use that one like on a daily basis.
that
Yeah,
one
that's
is
a good
just
one.
so
When you
so
realize you're goat washed.
I'd
so
like to
versatile.
I'd like to throw
Yeah.
out the Magic Johnson.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was so devastated I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Wait.
when that's your baseline.
Yeah. And I think one more I want to throw out real quick before you go. This is a recent one. It's from like Sean Dyche, who's like used to be he's like a English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just the other woke nonsense.
My favorite one was when it got so commonly used that people would just screenshot random areas of the quote graphic because you would know what it is. You would literally just see like
A blue
a green
brick.
square
Yeah.
of brick, and you would automatically know from pattern recognition
Oh, that's
that it was
hilarious.
that
It'd be like
quote
the
graphic.
top of like his ball.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
how many bald people there are? There's a bunch of
Oh
them.
my
Like you
God.
know it was him. Because I love that.
No, people would go on Google Street View and
Yeah.
screenshot the area where it was
Yeah.
taken, and you would recognize it. It was crazy.
Um,
Oh my God!
so
Yeah.
many good ones. I'll
Yeah.
I'll go ahead on that.
On the soccer, yeah.
On that soccer note, really quickly, this Peter Drury, he's like an absolutely
He's a
iconic,
poet. He's a poet.
soccer commentator, British. And like this is one that I've used probably for the past couple of years for pretty much every scenario. Like I'll just be like, it could be academic, it could be
I
with
know where
friends,
this
it
is
could be
going. I
anything.
know where this is going.
The end make sense of that.
Where
on earth are we now? Like I'll say that after a test. I'll say that if I drop my food. I'll say that like if I'm late to something. Like
Yeah, I want another Peter Drury one I use. Is like there was one like 2014 World Cup. Messi had that free kick and he
yes,
missed. Like
yes.
it was like no, it's gone away. It's gone
Yeah,
away.
it's going away. Yeah,
The little boy from our
Messi for a million flashbulbs.
It's just they're so good. But on this,
Get your actual.
yeah, this was
We got time. We don't got time for this.
a little more. This one's like a little more sentimental for me. It was Peru was playing Ecuador. I was living in Peru at the time. 2017 qualifiers for the 2018 World Cup. Ecuador on the road. We had never defeated Ecuador on the road, like in the history of World Cup qualifying. And Peru wins 2-1. It was massive. Like those 3 points. Like without that, Peru doesn't qualify to the World Cup. They ended up qualifying for the first time in 36 years. And so Daniel Perero's like a legend in Peru. He passed away actually right before the World Cup. Rest in peace. But he's absolute legend, and he was the play-by-play commentator narrator for all the Peru games. And so this quote, like if you go to Peru and you say this, like everybody knows this. But it's like, era hoy, Ramón. Siempre hay una primera vez. Gloria a Perú en las alturas, which means it was today, Ramón. There is always a first time. Glory to Peru in the heights. And like it's just it's so like iconic, and it's so like just like glory to Peru in the heights, like they won for the first time ever, on the road in the mountains, like against Ecuador, like huge win, qualifying to the World Cup, like people still use that on like the same way that like people use like the end, like in Peru people use that all the time. So yeah, just that's one that I like to. Yeah. I'll legit just watch the clip. Like if I'm down on my luck, like I'll just go back and watch it. But
now that Tomas has gotten his weekly Peru reference,
yes, weekly Peru.
Weekly Peru reference. My one quote before we go, it's from a Columbus Dispatch article at the very towards the bottom. It was when the crew were getting their new stadium. Their old stadium was 20 years old. The fans would tailgate in an old muddy parking lot. And it was kind of like an homage to this muddy parking lot where it was kind of like a dump, but people built community there, right? And so the columnist for the Dispatch references an old quote from the former Boston Celtic and Hall of Famer Robert Parrish about when it became clear that the old Boston Garden would be torn down and replaced. He goes, "I'm not sentimental. This place is a dump." It was so nearly my high school senior quote, but I wanted to give my old school a little bit more respect than that. But I think about it so often. This place, though, is magical. Another absolutely phenomenal episode.
Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema.
Hey, another graphic we got in the so great talking with you guys.
But yeah, thank you to Bryan, thank you to Jack. Fantastic deep dives, fantastic quotes. Great time on the show. I am Tomas Moran.
I'm Sid Sivaraman. We'll see you next week for another episode, 7 to 7:30 in the OACR. Hopefully with introductions next time. I'll be better on that. Thank you guys so much for coming out. And we'll see you next week.
The end.
Make sense of that. Where on earth are we now? Stay sicko.
What an